Adjust your seat. When you're settling down, notice if you feel different today than you did the last time you sat for centering. And adjust. We are not always the same. Some days we want to sit lower than we're sitting typically, some days higher. And some days the ankles and the knees may not cooperate at all, and we might decide to sit in a chair. But regardless, do the 5 things that we've been reminding ourselves of this week. Root the buttock bones. Extend the spine skyward. And really feel that you're going inside and doing that without force. Open up your heart by lifting the upper chest. Support the lift of the open chest by putting the shoulder blades down and moving them back towards each other where they're supposed to be. And then create the abdominal support. Once all that's done, you're ready to sit for the next 3 hours. Finding stillness, inner peace. In the book that I'm reading, there's a spiritual solution for every challenge, every problem, I believe is the name of the book. There's a spiritual solution. Wayne Dyer, the author, this book is beautifully written. It's written in 2000, I believe. It's a very old one of his books, but everything applies now. He keeps reminding us, those of the reader, we have to keep coming back to stillness. We are beating the bushes to find the solutions to our problems, chiseling and hammering away at where is the answer, who can help me. And all we need to do is be still and quiet. And let that inner guidance have a chance. If we are telling ourselves, no way is there an inner being inside of me that can help me, if that is what you're saying, then that will be what's true. So how do we know that that is true if we don't sit in stillness and try? Let the breath become like the waves that brush up on the ocean and then recoil away. Sitting and watching the waves wash upon the shore and then recede is almost like being hypnotized. And we have within us something so similar to that movement. The breath coming in, the wave splashes on the shore. The breath goes out, the waves recede. And if we give these practices a chance, we will become soothed and calm. And that inner spark will ignite. Now lift your hands up to your heart. As you exhale, bow your head. Release your hands and open your eyes. Take a deep breath in and open your shoulders. Release, twist right. Twist left. Release. Bring your legs out in front of you and pump your thigh muscles. I want to start before we get into Baddha Konasana and do two other more peripheral parts of our body that don't always get a lot of attention. The wrist and the ankle. So the muscles around the wrist joint and the ankle joints. So after we pump the thighs and re-stabilize the knees, we'll come into all fours like this. And then we'll just do one hand at a time. Turn one hand around so that the fingertips point towards the knee. That'll give you a wrist stretch. And if you just rock back a little bit, that'll give you even more. Sometimes it's so much that we're miserable. So you have to be a little bit forward. So when you come forward and the hand is angling back and the shoulder is angling forward, you might find some relief that if it's too much stretch. Otherwise, vertical is nice and tilt back towards you is also nice. So just kind of do it a little dynamically. And then after one or two or three rocks, we pause and we'll peel the palm off the floor like that. You see, just peel the palm up as much as you can. And sometimes it only comes up a hair. That's fine. We'll take what we can get. Just don't hurt anything. Now, as you're bringing the palm up, and I can use my other hand to sort of assist, the little finger mound might come off the floor. That's okay. And the thumb mound is off because it has to come with the other hand. And now you bend the elbow and try to drop it down any amount. Because these muscles in the fingers and in the hands are in the forearm. They cross the forearms into the hand. So this is the best way to get that stretch. And some of us have been hours on Facebook, I'm sure of it. I keep forgetting to, I keep thinking every day, I'm going to post something today, and the next thing I know it's bedtime. I'm terrible. Everyone's waiting for me to say some words of wisdom on my Facebook page, and they've been waiting for 30 years. Now move, that hand is ready to come out. See, it needed that, didn't it? Yeah. Okay, now the other side. So now what happens if the arm doesn't do that full external rotation in this position? Then you do your best. But if your hand only ends up here, like you can't turn all the way, remember you have to rock this way. You can't rock back towards you because that'll just be, that. I mean, you could do that. That's just ulnar deviations and radial deviations. It won't help these muscles directly. So you just do the best you can. And remember, a little forward. If it's too much stretch, Terry, I'm just going to go get a cup of tea while you do this. No, don't go. You need to do this. And then I'm here, I'm vertical, and then I'm going to lean back a little bit so the form is angled towards me. This really is the best way to do it. We can do it on the wall, and we can do both at the same time, but really one at a time and doing it on the floor is the best way. Now we'll peel the palm up and do the best you can. Remember, the little finger mound will come up. The three middle fingers, that's what you want to try to keep on the floor. The thumb mound will be up, and you can use the other hand to help pull back as long as you don't feel like you're going to break anything. And then bend the elbow and drop that down. Do the best you can. And then release. And do remember that stretch and do it so that we don't end up, as we get older and those muscles become even tighter and the connective tissue around those muscles becomes tight and bound. So you end up not being able to use your hands correctly, or you end up with issues. Now the calf muscles. I'm going to turn sideways so you can watch this one better as we do it together. And there'll be two different variations. I'm just going to take, it wouldn't matter what leg you take back. Just take one of your legs back. You start in all fours. Take one back, the knee is straight first, and push back in the heel. Now the toes are tucked. You see that? The toes are tucked because I want to stretch across the bottom of the foot and then into the calf. Now, keeping the toes tucked and the whatever leg's back, keep that. I'm going to bend the knee a little bit, but still push back. I'm taking the superficial muscle out, the gastrocnemius, and going underneath it to stretch the soleus by bending the knee. There's two muscles back there that we're stretching. There's more than two, but we're focusing on the two big ones. Okay, so now I'll do the other side. So whichever leg you did, your other one's up now. And oh, this one's a little tighter. This is my right leg. I can definitely feel that this one's a little tighter this morning. And then a little bend in the knee, just a little, and that pops the gastrocnemius muscle right out, and you'll focus on the soleus. And then you say, well, I don't feel anything. Don't worry about it. It's stretching. If you're in this position, you're stretching your soleus. It does not have the same sensation as the gastroc, but it has to be stretched. As a matter of fact, the soleus muscle that lies under the gastroc when it's tight has been associated with plantar fasciitis. So now we'll sit with the bottoms of the feet together in bound angle pose. There's a lot of theories as to what happens, and I think that that could be part of it. It could also be the tibialis anterior muscle may be part of the problem sometimes, which is a front muscle, and then also the plantar fascia. If the bottom of the foot, the arch is collapsing, it can get very tight and become droopy. There's a host of things that can be going wrong. So it's not just one cause. That's just the symptom, the plantar fasciitis. It'll be up to you and your healthcare professionals to determine, what might be the cause. Okay, now after we've sat here and let the inner thighs release a little bit, we're ready for downward facing dog. We'll go ahead and stretch your legs back out. And now cross your shins and roll over into Adho Mukha. Well, it's a nice gray morning. Not one of those beautiful, bright, sunny days that brings lots of the energy of the sun into your home. So those of you who are just watching the video may notice it's a little gray through the windows behind me. And sometimes when we come together on these gray days, we think, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just do restoratives? But sadly, that will not happen today in this class. Lift your head, inhale, and on the exhale, step up to the front of your mat. But everybody already knew that. Restoratives are for the evening. Somebody should do one soon, right? I believe there's one on our YouTube channel. Bend the knees, dropping the hips, and inhale, up you come, reaching up, 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 and then bring your hands to your heart. Good. So this class this morning is really a potpourri. It's a mixture of a little bit of everything, salt and pepper throughout, so that you have your body will get a taste of standing postures, back bends, twists, forward bends, preparations for inversions, a little bit of all of that. Let's begin with a little movement. Inhale, reaching up and exhaling into forward bend. Inhale to the half forward bend and exhale back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. I left my blanket down on purpose because after I do 3 up dogs and down dogs, I'm stepping the right foot forward and placing the left knee on the blanket, but then coming up into the full Vanarasana with the arms reaching up. So 3, that was my third one. And now on the next breath, as I exhale, right foot to the front of the mat, the left knee is coming down, palms together, inhale, reach up. Left hip flexor, whole front body spine, armpit muscles, in the shoulders, everything, widen the shoulder blades, So the arms actually really lift. The arms should lift from the root of the shoulder. Please don't pull your shoulder blades down the back. And then exhale, release down. And back to dog pose. Inhale into Urdhva Mukha. Exhale into Adho Mukha. And then on the next exhale, step your left foot forward. Bring your palms together and inhale up. Pause. Let everything have a chance. Let everything have a chance. The hip flexors, the spine, the shoulders. And if you're able to look up, the front throat muscles. And then release. Back to down facing dog. This time we'll be doing the warrior ones. So step the right foot forward. This time the knee will stay up. Just adjust the back leg. Keep the pelvis facing forward. You take the arms out to the side this time and bring them up into Virabhadrasana 1. If I move the thoracic spine into the body, use the shoulder blade muscles and the shoulder blades to help me, then I can take my head up better. And this will help counter the forward head posture that some of us are getting because we're looking at the internet a little bit more than usual. And then the exhale back to down facing dog. Not that you already did. Back and forth we go. And this time the left foot forward. Sweep the arms out. Vira 1. And release. One more set of 3. And now back to Uttanasana. Release the back body. If there's anything help you come, bring your hands to your heart. Good. So you feel a little refreshed and ready, right? So remember I said if you have a way of putting a strap in a drawer, that'll be nice because then you can do the Gomukhasana top arm and that'll give you a way to go a little bit deeper. If not, you just hold the belt. Let's put it in the left hand. And then let the left arm drop behind you and the right arm be the bottom arm. I'm going to actually use the door. The left hand will hold the belt, the palm faces the floor, and then I just lean forward. Now, if you're using your wall strap, for those of you who are fortunate enough to have a wall, then you can have the loop behind the wrist and then hold both sides of the loop. And then when you lean a little forward, that's when you see this helps you go a little deeper because you can lean forward. But make sure, regardless with all 3, regardless of what, regardless of the practice you're doing, you do the 3 actions. That's correct. The shoulder blade moves away from the spine, you can help it. The shoulder blade moves up towards the elbow, boom. And the shoulder blade moves forward into the body. That happens automatically when you lean forward. Back up a little bit and we'll do the other side. So if you're doing the Gomukhasana without a wall, you just repeat now to the other side. But you're doing both arms, but focus on the top arm. So now we lean a little forward. I'm lined up with the strap is right over the top of my head. And then I lean and I make sure that the shoulder blade is going up. It has to go up. It goes away from the spine. And that gets stuck because of those muscles between the shoulder blades that are tight. So I'm helping it around. Come on, come on. I said, come follow me. Come, 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 come. And then lean forward. The shoulder blade goes in. All important things. And then back up, release, refreshing. Now, if you're doing without the wall, then you'll just repeat, and now let the focus be on the left arm as the bottom arm. And we'll all do that too. The left arm will be your bottom arm. Now, what I like to do is back all the way up to the wall, and or to the door, rather, or the wall if you've got your wall. Reach up and hold the belt up here so I can steady myself as I lift my heels. Now, once the heels are lifted, the hand can creep up a little higher on the belt. And I'm ready to let go of the belt if I have to, but I'm going to put my heels down. That will cause my arm to slide up the back a little bit more. It's hard to get, we sort of get back there and we're stuck. And we know there's a part of us that says, I want the arm a little higher. Now I can see yellow. The door is yellow. I can see there's a gap right there. So in order to get rid of the gap, I'm going to step to your left and take you see how my arm now just went closer to the body so that it's in more of the correct position now. Sometimes that is too much, so you don't do it. And sometimes it works fine. And you can do the other two things to go a little bit deeper too. You could step a little forward. That'll give you a little extra stretch. Don't do it if it goes, that really is uncomfortable. And you can bend your knees. These are optional variations. Okay, and then I'm going to back up a little bit as I lift my hand slide down. And now we'll switch into the other side. So those of you who are doing both arms at the same time, just switch. Now my right hand is going to slide up the strap, lift the heels up. If I hold up here, I can steady myself a little better, creep, 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 and then put the heels down. Oh, this shoulder really needs this. Oh, pause for a moment and then observe. There's a little gap there. Let's see if we can close it. There. Gap gone. And then I don't rush into any other variations. I just wait right there because I can feel all the tug and pull here. And by the way, we didn't say this on the other side, but you all have heard this before if you've been taking classes at Triad Yoga. There are 3 movements of the shoulder blades here also. This time it's opposite of the arm overhead. It goes in towards the spine. It goes down towards the floor. And it presses forward into the body. And then you can try to do a little step forward and see, and if that's too much, then don't do it. And you can bend the knees a little bit, and if that's too much, then don't do it. And then I'll let my hands slide down, so I back up just a little bit, and release. Good. Now let's do some standing poses. Let's start with Utkatasana, chair pose. We forget sometimes the importance of doing these postures that help strengthen our legs. So I think that it would be beneficial if we squeeze that block between the legs, because the legs should always be together in Utkatasana. If they're separate, the stronger leg usually does most of the work. But if you squeeze them together, you can help equalize the work of the legs. So I'm going to actually put that block right between the 2 thighs. The reason why I'm saying do a block is because the legs are shaped differently. It's hard sometimes to squeeze the legs together. Maybe the knees bump before you get the rest of the legs together. Maybe the ankles bump and you can't get the knees together. But if we squeeze a block, it sort of equalizes this. I'm going to turn sideways now so you see how this practice goes. On an inhale, we'll lift the arms. So we're in Ardha Chandrasana. And then on the exhale, bend the knees and drop the hips. And you have to drop sometimes in Utkatasana, we'll see people try to keep their bodies upright. Oh, that puts a lot of work into the knees. The knees won't like that a bit. Okay, so now you're feeling your legs starting to work. Is that right? And you might tremble and shake a little bit as we stay there and challenge you. Who would know if you came up soon, and except for when I review what everyone does. Don't do that. Don't do that. But it would be fine to come out and take a break and then join us again. But why not challenge yourself? Why not just give yourself it's like that one more breath. Could you do that one more breath in the pose? Let's all come out. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, lower your arms. Oh, warm, warm, warm. Now, aren't we? Now, let's do another leg strengthening practice. Let's do Virabhadrasana 2. Let's take a breath. Give you one more extra breath to recover from that wonderful practice of Utkatasana. I hope you'll do it more than once a year. Bring your hands up to your heart and step your feet wide apart for Virabhadrasana 2. Now, because we're focusing on the legs, let's make sure we get the legs right first. Are they lined up correctly? Your right heel in line with your left arch. Check. Number 2, squeeze your thighs. And then as you bend your right knee to take you down the pose, keep the knee back to the wall behind you and keep the hip forward. If you don't, the thigh bone will roll inwardly, and you can't do that. And then you park the knee right over the ankle. Make sure your spine is perpendicular. If I lean this way, I take the back leg will do less of the work, and they should be balanced. They should both be working equally. One bent, but one straight. And then press the top of your left thigh back powerfully as you gaze over your fingertips. And then sort of just settle in. Like, well, I'll be here for a while, so I might as well just get comfortable. Shoulder blades descend so that the trapezius muscles don't get all gnarly and bunched up around your neck. Keep a check on that left knee. As the leg gets tired, the left knee will start to creep forward. It should not. It should stay back as the hip stays forward. And keep lifting the pit of the abdomen to pull the energy up. That's where you feel if you don't have the lift of the pit of the abdomen, you'll tire very soon. This is because you may be thinking already, I should come out. Or maybe you're already out. Well, my question would be, well, were you pulling energy up from the earth? Straighten the leg, inhale, and exhale, turn forward. We were there a while, so we'll pause. We'll take the arms down, roll the shoulders around a couple of times. Make sure you take a couple of deep breaths. Enough rest. Take the arms back up. Turn the right foot in and the left leg out. Inhale and exhale. Bend that left knee now. And check. If you get a chance to watch yourself on, like just call yourself up on the phone and look at yourself. And make sure that, or to make a little video of yourself. Watch yourself in these poses, because you'll see sometimes we lean that way. Nene, it's very easy to make a video these days of yourself. Now check the left knee back, the left hip forward. That means this goes back that way and this goes forward that way towards the computer screen. And then this thigh presses back along with the knee. That puts everything in the right place to be charged, strengthened, and taught how to stabilize. Inhale, straighten the leg, turn your feet forward, bend your knees. Inhale and exhale, step your feet together. Let your arms rest down by your side. Good. Let's do one more standing practice that is really helpful in strength, but also balance. Ardha Chandrasana. So we'll move through triangle pose, hop right up into Ardha Chandrasana. So let's get our blocks ready for that pose. Look to your left and your right. Make sure that you've got the runway clear on each side. No obstacles in the moving from side to side. Stand in the middle of your mat. On the inhalation, step the feet wide apart. Left leg, right leg out. Reach out over the right leg, Trikonasana. Left hand to hip, look down. Find something to focus on. Bend the right knee. Step the left foot towards the right foot. Move your block out. And now lift your left leg. Now squeeze the right thigh muscle. And to make sure that you have not turned the leg in, make sure the hip is in the socket, which means that your kneecap will face right completely. It is so important. So important. Sometimes we get in the pose and we just make do. But I'm trying to strengthen my legs to carry me through life. Not just today, my whole life. This is for my future. And ease back into Trikonasana. And come on. Let's do the other side. Right foot in, left leg out, Trikonasana. Right hand on the left hip, look down. Bend the left knee, move the right foot up a little bit. Now take your block out with your left hand. Now watch the left leg, make sure it stays in place as you come up. So important. And return to Trikonasana. Inhale up, turn your feet forward, bend your knees. Inhale, exhale, step your feet together, Tadasana. You know it would really feel nice, something very balancing now. So let's do Ardha Chandrasana. Move the blocks off the mat. Downward facing dog. Keep the 4 mounds of each of your fingers firmly in contact with the floor. Balance the heel of the hands, the inner heel, the outer heel. Rotate the arm bones till the elbow pits face each other and widen your shoulder blades. And then down you come. Rest a moment in the child's pose. Hands under the shoulders, up you come. Good. Now Ardha Chandrasana, the half lord of the fishes pose. So let's take a blanket and fold it like this in the storage position and fold it in half. Now, if you're very tight in the hips, I'm going to put the corner forward for this one. You see, not square, but angle. So the folded corner faces forward without the fringe. The folded corner faces forward. So I sit on 2 of them. This one didn't come out very well, did it? I tell you, instead of working with that one, we'll grab the next one and see if it works a little bit better. There we are. Much nicer. Okay, so now let's just say I don't have blankets here. I don't have anything firm like this. Well, what do you have? You could sit on a block. That'll be fine. And you could also use books. Anything that you can do to elevate yourself, because if you don't elevate the pelvis, you'll probably tilt a little bit off to the side like this. When you tilt and then you try to bring yourself upright, this side of the body is compressed. So you'll see what I mean when we come to get ourselves ready for this pose. I'm going to start my, oh, and by the way, I'm going to keep this block handy and put it behind me in case, since I'm sitting up high, when I go to put my hand behind me to help me with the lift, I am able to sit upright and not drop back. My twist will be to the left first. So I'll take my left hand, and I know this is my right, but I'm just mirroring you, so you're saying that to yourself. My left hand is your voice saying that to yourself, reaching under my left leg to hold my right instep. And then like threading the needle, I just pull that leg under me like this and point the knee forward. Now, if the knee is popped up in the air, that means you're sitting too far back on your props. Scoot a little forward and the knee should drop down. Now, if it doesn't, if you're on the edge and it doesn't drop down, then put something under there so it doesn't float, because if it floats, it'll begin to grip, and we can't have that. Then take the left foot and cross the right leg like this. So if you look at the camera for a moment, or at this video screen, excuse me, you see that the knees are aligned with each other and they're right in the center of the body. That is where they should be. It doesn't always end up perfect, but try to make it as good as you can. The other thing is that this bottom leg is worrisome. If it's a little bit not what you would find comfortable, you can always do this practice with that leg straight, you see? So the top leg this leg is pretty important, so it needs to be here, but the bottom leg has a variation. Now we begin. There are 3 different options for the right arm to help you turn towards your left. One is what you see here is my hand on my knee, pulling the leg across the body so that I can pull the right ribs towards the left thigh. 2, I can hook the elbow around the knee. And 3, I can place the back of the arm on the outside of the knee. But that's only an option if you can sit up straight like you see me doing. Suppose I can get my arm, but I look like this together. Look at the camera. I want you to see the old slumped posture that sometimes, even as I tell people, make sure you're sitting up straight. This is what I get. So we don't want, that's not a healthy twist in your spine. I want a healthy twist. Sit up straight and then make a fist, which gives you more power than the pageant way. It's not a parade. It's a yoga pose. So place your left hand behind you on the floor of the block. Lift the pit of the abdomen, lift the sides of the waist, and as you exhale, you twist. You have your left hand to help you lift. You have your right arm to help you with the twist. Always lift on the inhale, always twist on the exhale. To go a little deeper, sometimes it helps to turn your head back to the right. See if you can twist with the head not in the practice and then add the head back. So there's a little trick. The neck, once it's fully twisted, sends a message to the nervous system that the twist is complete. And sometimes that is not true at all. One more breath, one more exhale, and then use an inhale to create a lift, which guides you out of the twist. That's where you don't inhale and exhale and drop out. We want it to be lifted when we come out and then exhale. Stretch the legs out. Let's switch sides. So now my right arm reaches under the right leg, catches the left instep and pulls the leg under. Once again, if the knee is floating, I either need to scoot forward or just put something under it. Then take your leg, your top leg, your right leg, and cross it. Now, if you're on the inner edge of the foot like that, sometimes all you have to do is slide the foot a little forward and it will drop down. Otherwise, try to bring it about mid-thigh. Then choose your arm position. 1, just the hand. 2, the elbow. This is really a great option for most of us, probably, because if we go like this and we're all crunched up, then it's not going to be a very healthy practice. Inhale, lift. Oh, get the roundedness out of the spine. So twist. It should love the twist, not think, oh, please let this in. Let it be over soon. Lift, inhale, up, up, up. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. And then release. Good. And stretch your legs out in front of you. Good. So we got a little bit lengthened now we got lengthened in dog pose, then we twisted and got rid of some of that tension. Now let's do down facing dog pose again. Maybe it will feel a little different. And then knees down and come to the floor for Bhujangasana, Cobra. Hands are beneath the shoulders. Now don't forget there's variations. I could do Cobra with my hands right here and just come up to here if that's what my back wants to do today. or either you can go to your forearms. Make sure that you lengthen your legs back. Make sure that you press your thigh bones down. Make sure that the sacrum is pulled towards the heels. When you're starting to come up, check that shoulder blades should descend the back body and also lift the pit of the abdomen, for goodness sakes. You have to lift the pit of the abdomen and back bends. It should be done in most poses, but in back bends is imperative. Put the spine back where it belongs. What we're hoping is that the twist, Ardha Chandrasana, help prepare the back for the back bend. And then down you come. And then we get a little break. Oh, yes. That was Cobra number 1. So now Cobra number 2. All those same actions, lengthen the spine, grounded in the legs, lifted in the front spine with the pit of the abdomen, the open chest, shoulder blades helping to keep the thoracic spine moving forward. So they come down and they press forward. Now I can't see you, so pay attention in your own body. Or your shoulders lifted up around your ears. So that would be a nene. So keep the shoulder blades down. And down you come and rest. Now our next back bend is going to be Dhanurasana. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but you can, some of you can do it with me. Some of you can strap your ankles. Just go ahead and bend the knees and be putting a strap on each ankle. If you do one strap that you wrap around both ankles, just don't let the belt pull your legs together. Keep the feet like a little bit apart when you get ready to come up. Otherwise, we'll reach for the instep and then pull the feet back over the hands. You see how put the ankles in dorsiflexion. You can also do another Cobra. So take a deep breath. Exhale, press the belly down. Inhale, lift. We need this. We need this for the quadriceps, the hip flexors, and the shoulders and back strengthening. It is a powerful pose. Powerful. And release. Downward facing dog. And then come down. Now just one Supta Padangusthasana, but with one leg bent, the one on the ground. So get your belt and take your right leg up and let the pelvis actually lift, right? So this is just to make sure that we don't have any tension in the back after the bow pose. So right leg straight, pelvis actually lifted, including some of the erector spinae muscles in the stretch, and then the left knee stays bent or flat on the floor. Release, and the other side. And release. And let's check and see how we feel. And if everything's okay, let's do a sort of, it's like a preparation for shoulder stand when you, let's just say you don't have a lot of props. You know how we practice at the studio. We prop, and then people go home and they don't have all that stuff, which you really need so you can practice Shoulderstand. It's such an important pose. It is the queen of the asanas. But we'll do a variation. Let's just pretend that all I have is something for my head. So I've got this one blanket for the head, and that could be a towel. Run to the restroom and grab a towel because it's just something so my hair doesn't stick to the sticky nail. And then I've got at least 2 blankets. You've got to have at least 2 blankets. Certainly you do. And these go right there like that. Okay, so here's where my head goes, here's where my shoulder goes. Because I don't have a lot of shoulder support to protect my neck, I'm not going way up in the pose. I could actually use a chair like this, you see, and open up a chair and put my feet on the edge of the chair, or I could use the wall. I'm going to show you both very quickly and give you a chance to do one. And you can actually, remember, you can do shoulder stand if you have the props. And you can also just do bridge pose. Bridge is a preparation for shoulder stand. I just want to give you these options for home use. You got to have these tools. We have no idea how long we'll be stay at home, so we must be working on that. So my head is on the blanket, my shoulders are on the second pair of blankets, my feet are on the chair, my pelvis is on a block so that I'm not dropped down. And all I have to do is lift my pelvis and put my feet flat on the chair. And I am in it looks like a bridge pose, but it's also higher than a bridge. It's more inverted. So this would be considered an inversion. And it's the blood and the lymph is going to feed the immune system, the endocrine system, and also the nervous system benefits from being upside down. And then I come down. For me, and you can, if you got up in that particular variation and you like it, you can stay for a few more breaths. I'm now going to take my mat to my hutch. I don't have a good wall in here, so I'm just going to use the hutch. Notice I don't go all the way to the wall. You see, let me see it. Yeah, you can see. See, I'm away from this hutch represents my wall. I use furniture all over the house. Yeah, I have pet gates up to keep the dogs out. And sometimes I have straps tied all over those pet gates. So yeah, I've been creative over the years in my practices because I enjoy it too much. I don't know why we don't all do more. So once again, head on the blanket, shoulders on the double blankets, and my feet are on the wall. That may not be the best view, but I think you get it, right? So all I do is once I lift up, I can't turn my head now that my body is lifted to check and see how everything looks. But I think you can get the idea. I'm very much at an angle. I'm not trying to make myself straight up over my shoulders because I don't have enough proppage. I don't want to hurt my neck. I really like my neck. And so I want to protect it. Some of you know that when I came to yoga in 1984, I talk about my back pain, but what I don't talk about a lot of is the neck pain that was also there. I was in so much pain that I had to sleep flat with a roll under my neck. I couldn't even use a pillow. And I just don't forget those things. I remember them all the time. And I just think, I got myself out of pain. I never want to go back. I'm not going to put myself at risk to be there again. And then we can come down. So if we just did that for a minute or 2 minutes, it's nice to hold it for 5 or 6 minutes, but even a minute to 2 minutes, your body will benefit. Now, all of us will come down and wiggle back a little bit for just a moment and be still right where you are. You don't have to get up yet. And if you're doing bridge pose, just come out of bridge and rest with us. If you're doing full shoulder stand, you want to drop into plow pose and then roll down, that'll be fine, and then wiggle back. And then we'll all roll over to the side and reorganize our props for Shavasana. Shavasana is relaxation. That's when you lie down on the floor and let the body absorb everything that you've done for it today. Everything, the standing poses, the back bends, the twist, the inversions, the shoulder openers, everything. Just slowly breath into your body and then exhale. Slide your feet up closer to your hips. And when the knees are bent and the feet flat, begin to rock the legs gently back and forth. And then roll gently to your side. And pause here. Even when you practice by yourself, take your time coming out of Shavasana. Number one, don't skip Shavasana. And number two, be mindful so that you're not jarring to the nervous system. We jar it enough. You want the exit to be gentle and show your body respect. Use your hands now and press up. And sit comfortably. The light within me sees the beautiful shining light within you. Namaste.